The winter event is just around the corner and there is so much stuff already in game about it. We've got leaks about changes to the map happening, leaks about items returning, stuff about free rewards and how the event is going to work, just tons of details. Alright guys, welcome back to another Fortnite video. How are you guys doing? If you're having a good day, hit that like button down below. But again, we have a lot to talk about. As you guys know, it's just about winter time and that means that there's going to be a winter event, and Fortnite has already been talking about it a lot, hinting about it with a ton of stuff, and that's what we're going to cover in today's video. So make sure to watch this video until the end so you are fully aware of everything that we know about it so far. And as always guys, remember to hit that subscribe button down below and turn on notifications to be kept in the know with Fortnite stuff like this. And as always, if you want to help support me, you can do so by using code TheLlamaSir in the item shop. But without further ado, let's jump on into it here with the first thing I want to talk about. And let's start off with a little something that's maybe sort of small, but it's a good lead into like one of the big changes happening to the map. So yeah guys, if you go into the map right now and specifically land at the location just north of Lazy Lake, you'll find a little bit of a hill right there, and as you can see me just gliding towards that location, you can start to notice a little something interesting. You definitely have to like keep an eye out for it, but you will notice that snow is falling above this location, which is very peculiar because there is no snow over here. There is snow on the mountains nearby, but this isn't covered in snow. And also I'm pretty sure this was not here before the recent update last Tuesday. And on top of that guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they did a similar thing last season where they would add these snowing animations around the map to signify that, you know, snow was coming to the map and things like that. So I think they would do the same thing here, but that's not the only thing that's pointing towards, you know, a snow covered map coming this winter. Thanks to iFireMonkey on Twitter, he was able to find in the files a snow texture for the entire map. That is right guys, the entire chapter 2 map. There is a texture in the files right now pointing towards that exact thing happening. Now going back to last year when the winter event happened, you know, that year, if you remember, the entire map did get covered. Granted, that was technically due to part of the story. If you remember, the Ice King had shown up on the map and then he had that whole event, which was admittedly kind of a forgettable event. The one where the Ice King like had the giant orb and then all of a sudden he sent all this snow to cover the map. Leave a comment down below if you remember that or you were there for that event. But either way, again, they covered the entire map. So this time around, are they going to have a similar event where the entire map is going to get covered? Or is it just going to be a thing for the holidays where they just switch it on? You know, it's just winter, you know, more snow is showing up on the map. Maybe we'll see more locations like Lazy Lake start to get this snowing animation and then, you know, it slowly gets covered as the season changes. That could make a lot of sense, but either way, it is looking for sure that during this winter event, the entire map is going to be covered in snow, which should be pretty interesting to see. But let's keep it going here with another leak I want to talk about. And talking about like rewards and stuff, that's still coming up, but this leak is very interesting as well. Or there's actually two leaks I want to talk about together. The first of which is that we're going to see an item returning from the previous seasons of Fortnite. Can you guess what item it is? It's related to winter, related to snow a bit. That is the chiller grenade. That is right guys, the chiller grenade is looking to make a return this season. Now this info is according to Hypex on Twitter, but he said that the snow grenades are likely to return, or in other words, the chiller grenades, and that actually goes hand in hand with this next leak that I'm going to talk about as well. But yeah, in case you guys don't remember that item specifically, you can still use them in creative. You simply load up a creative match, choose them from the inventory, and then as you can see, when you throw them, they don't deal any damage, but they send you flying a little bit and then give you like a chiller effect to your feet so you slide around a bunch. It's a very interesting item, very unique, that's for sure, but having it return is going to be pretty interesting. It's nothing at all overpowered, but it's one of those random items that should be pretty fun for a temporary amount of time during this event itself. Now then, with the next leak here that I said had to do with this, it looks like a certain other item is returning as well. So according to Hypex, he had said that something called Icebox is going to be added to the game soon, and what I think that is, I think it's code name for the return of the presents item that we had last season, because he also goes on to say that this item will randomly contain items like the mini shields, big shield, chiller grenades, resources, snowball launcher, snowman, which as you remember, the snowman is an item as well that we got last winter, so it looks like that item is returning as well. But yeah, the presents were in the game last year, so if you go into creative, you can still use them. You throw them on the ground, they create a present that you can either break through, or if you throw it at your feet, it just spawns around you and it gives you random items like that. So it looks like this may be an updated version of that with more specific items to fit in with chapter 2, which would make a lot of sense, and honestly it would fit in pretty well, especially with the items that it says right there. However, something interesting that it says there is that the snowball launcher could definitely be returning, which is very cool because we haven't had the snowball launcher or the grenade launcher in a very long time. Ever since the beginning of chapter 2, that item has been vaulted melted. So does that mean that we're going to see the grenade launcher itself return in one of the next updates? Or is it just going to be the snowball launcher? Honestly, that's still up in the air, but it's peculiar. It's something to keep in mind for sure. Now, there's another item as well that is like brand new that can come in this like item, but we'll circle around back to that after this stuff right here, because I want to talk about like event stuff itself, like free rewards, challenges, and things like that. And so far, the main bit of info that we have on this was from the season extension news article that Epic Games had put up on their news page. So we talked about this a bit before, but I want to go more in depth with what this could mean. And by the way, if you missed one of my previous videos, we dove into like the extension of the season and things like that. I'll try to leave a link to that down below in the description. But one of the things I found super interesting was that they said last year we celebrated 14 days of Fortnite over the holidays. This year we've got even more content to unwrap, including new game features, free rewards, and a live experience you won't want to miss. And guys, there is a lot to go through there. So let's start off with the first thing they mentioned, which is 14 days of Fortnite. That was the event that they did last winter, and as you guys remember, it was mainly 14 days of rewards. Each day there was a new challenge that could unlock a new reward. I remember helping you guys out with a bunch of those challenges. It was honestly a really fun event, but this time around it looks like they're trying to top that, because as they said in the article, they say this year we've got even more content for you to unwrap. So does that mean they're looking to top the 14 days of Fortnite with even more days of challenges and rewards and things like that? Obviously we can't know for sure quite yet, but why else would they mention 14 days of Fortnite unless they were going to either top that or do at least 14 days of rewards and things like that again? They could have just not said anything about that. They could have just said we've got a ton of stuff for you to unwrap this year. So I think that's something to take note of. But on top of that, they also say that they're going to be including new game features, which I'm very interested to see what that means. That wouldn't have to do with like the items we talked about, like the icebox or presents item returning or the chiller grenades returning, stuff like that, because those have already been in the game. This would have to be brand new features. And in fact, there could be one new feature that we'll talk about right after this, but it's very peculiar. And then obviously with that, they say free rewards, which would have to be for the challenges. Remember to hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't yet, because you guys know I'll be helping you out with those challenges, as I always do. And on top of that, a live experience, which is in other words, a live event. I think that's what they're getting at. So that will be very exciting overall. Now, when can we expect this though? What date could we expect this stuff to happen? Well, looking at last year's event, the 14 days of Fortnite, that got started on December 19th. Now, obviously that is quite a ways from when I'm uploading this video, about a month away, since today is November 24th. So what I'm hoping is that they decide to start this event a bit earlier, especially with the extension of the season and stuff like that. I feel like we need some fun stuff, so hopefully it is a bit earlier than that. But yeah, the last time they did a winter event, it was December 19th, so it's probably around there, since it has to be around the holidays as well, which would make the most sense. But then on top of that, what would the free rewards look like? Well, last year we got really a ton of stuff. We got a back bling, a glider, we got the Merry Munchkin pet back bling. I like totally forgot about that. Also, we got like a pickaxe, a snowball, wraps, stuff like that. We got a ton of stuff. So this time around, we're obviously going to have to get similar things. And like one of the ideas I had that I think is very likely is a Merry Mint glider. Similar to the Merry Mint pickaxe or the minty pickaxe, I think that's very likely because oftentimes we do get, you know, gliders as rewards for challenges. And since the minty pickaxe was, you know, released in a special way from the cards, it would definitely make sense that we could get it as a free challenge reward coming out soon, and then it would fit in with this set alongside the minty pickaxe. On top of that, we could also maybe see this pickaxe right here. However, I feel like this might be in the item shop, but this has already been added into the files, so you know, maybe we'll be able to see it in the rewards. Either way, stuff like that. I'm expecting more like candy cane stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to see. And then finally, guys, we have two more things to talk about. The first of which is that there's supposedly a snowball item that you can get from that mystery or icebox thing, whatever you want to call it, but nobody really knows what that could be. We already have a snowball toy, but I don't think it's that, because obviously it's an item that drops in the presents icebox thing. However, guys, I think it would maybe be similar to the cans in game that you can throw, and when you hit somebody with them, they do a bit of damage. So I'd expect this to maybe act exactly like that, but obviously it would instead be a snowball. And then for the final thing I wanted to talk about, guys, iFireMonkey had said that there was a temp file added recently that has to do with like destroying frozen ice or frozen loot in ice being added into the game as a feature, which, as we read in that one article, they said that they are going to be adding new game features soon, which would definitely make sense that this would be along with that, and it would fit in very well with a snow-covered map. So I'm expecting maybe you can find like frozen loot icebergs around the map, and then you can break them open to find loot and things. That would make a lot of sense, but what do you guys think? Leave your comments down below. But anyways, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more videos like this coming out in the near future. On top of that, you can check out some of my previous videos here, such as on the left, my most recent challenge guide, and then below that, some other fun videos I'm sure you'll enjoy. But again, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one.